This is the video for one of the most important topics in Math 043 as well as Math 143. Most people are in Math 043 with the plan of taking 143, and percentages are the most important topic in that class. I wish we had more time to spend on this, but it's very, very important. It's also something that students tend to have a little bit of trouble with. We understand percents like in life. We use percentages without really understanding what they mean. So we're going to try to work on that this week. I want to give you some notes first. Normally I just jump right into the worksheet on Hawks, but I did want to give you some notes. So let's get started. Hawks uses this formula. It's called P. Oh, that needs to be thicker. Hold on. Okay. So oh no, sorry. P over 100 equals A over B. Now I'm going to be honest with you, this is not my preferred formula for percentages. I'm going to give you my preference over here. Sorry about that. But this is what Hawks uses. Okay, so let's look at what they're talking about. Okay, P is your percent. Okay, now one thing you want to notice is that you always put your percent over 100. Now we talked about this in our last unit. Percentage by definition means out of 100. So it makes sense that when you see that percent sign, that number will always go over 100. Okay, and let's talk about the A and the B. This is the part of Hawks that I'm not really crazy about their explanation. But A is the amount, and B is the base. I'm looking at my notes just to write exactly what Hawks calls it. So A is the amount, and B is the base. The reason I'm not crazy about that is there's an amount on the top and the bottom. Both the numerator is an amount, and the denominator is also an amount. So the word amount for me is not specific enough. So let me explain Hawks in greater detail. The amount is the part of the base, okay? So it's part of the, I'm going to say situation. I'm going to use the word situation just because we're going to be doing all kinds of percentage problems, and the word situation just covers a lot of different things. So the amount is part of the situation. Okay, so the top number is going to be part of whatever situation you're talking about, whether that be tax, tipping, commission, free throws, whatever. And then the base, Hawks describes this a little bit more in detail. This is the whole value, okay, or the whole, I would say part, but I don't want to use the same word twice. So the denominator is the whole value in whatever situation you're talking about. The whole number of free throws, the whole cost of the jacket, the whole cost of the meal, the whole cost of the house, the whole number of problems on the test. But the top number is your amount, and that's going to be a part of the base. And then the base is the whole value in whatever you're talking about. Now that's how Hawks explains it. And if you look through this worksheet, they give you that formula for every single problem. I think just to not twist you up, we will stick with that. Okay, but let me just say one thing. You see this word right here, part, and then you see this word right here, whole. That's my preference. So my preference is to think of the top as the part of whatever you're talking about, and the bottom as the whole. This is my preferred technique. So I would have P over W. Hawks uses A over B. That's okay. We don't all have to describe things the same way. But the amount on top is going to be part of the situation, and the base on the bottom is going to be the whole situation. Let's see if we can do some examples just with that understanding. So let's look at number one. Use the basic proportion. Okay, they give you the formula every time. To solve the following problem for the unknown, round to the nearest hundredth. Now remember, hundredth, that means 100, which has 2 zeros, which means we're going to be going to 2 decimal places. Okay, rounding is so important. Okay, it says, what is 82% of 889? Okay, off the top, I don't even have to think about this. Our percent goes first, and you always put that over 100. You don't have to think about that. When you see a percent sign, you are talking about something out of 100. Okay, so that part is easy. Now, what's not quite as easy is this 889. Is 889 part, or is 889 the whole? Okay, so this is kind of what you have to decide. Is it the amount, which corresponds to part of the situation, or is it the base? In other words, the whole shebang of whatever the situation may be here. And I don't have any magic tricks here, but let's go back to the question. What is 82% of 889? So they're asking you what part, this is what they're asking you. What is the part of 889? So 889 is our base. And what we're looking for is the amount, A, that would be your part. So I'm going to put an X up here for the amount. I don't know what amount is 82% of 889. I don't know that. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Now, this section is called Solving Percent Problems Using Proportions. If I'm not mistaken, I didn't have enough room to type that on my document when I saved it. But we've already studied proportions. So let me just refresh your memory. We're going to cross multiply. So this is what we're going to do here. I'm going to use my calculator. 82 times 8. Oh, wait. Yeah, 889. Oh my, I put 3. 82 times 889 is, I'm going to have to go over here. Let's go to purple. 72,898. I set that equal to what I get when I multiply in the other direction. 100 times x is just 100x. Now, I'm not crazy. I know that there are several shortcuts to getting the correct answer here. I'm trying to teach you how to do it the mathematical way. I'm trying to teach you how to use the formula that is given to you on Hawks and use the mathematical process of cross multiplication. Can you do this other ways, particularly using your calculator? Yes. Okay, but I'm going to work it out using our beautiful math strategies. So this is going to be divided by 100. We know that dividing by 100 is going to move, let's see. So they want us to round to, what do they want us to round to? The nearest hundredth. So we know dividing by 100 is going to move the decimal 2 places to the left. I think that was our last section, but I can't remember. So 1, 2. Our decimal is going to fall right here, okay? And they tell us to round to the nearest hundredth. Whoops, that's supposed to be a 728.98. It's already rounded for us because the hundredth is 2 decimal places. So that is the correct answer. Okay, now let's look at number 2. It's different. We're given the formula again. Use the basic proportion P over 100 equals A over B. What percent of 670 is 447? Now, let me just refresh your memory. Here's our formula right here. Okay, percent goes over 100. Well, this one starts out and it says what percent? In other words, I don't know what the percent is. That's what they want us to find. So our percent is unknown, and we always put our percent over 100. Now all we have to do is decide if 670 is the base or 447. Okay, well, this one's pretty simple. The base is the whole amount, like the full amount of whatever's in your problem. So for this one, the full amount is 670. And I shouldn't have used the word amount. The full base is 670. And 447 is some amount out of that base. In other words, it's some part out of that base. Okay, we know how to solve this. We're going to cross multiply x times 670, 100 times 447. X times 670 is 670x. We've studied this. Multiplying by 100 is just going to add 2 zeros to the end of this. So this will be 447. Add your 2 zeros. You can put it in the calculator if you need to. Divide both sides by 670. And remember, our answer is going to be a percent. Now it says round to the nearest hundredth if necessary. So let's put this in our calculator. 447 divided by... Oh, wow, this is a good one. Okay, this does have to be rounded. And if you look at what you get in your calculator, you get 66.716. Supposed to be a 6417, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me refresh your memory about how to round. It's been a couple weeks since we've studied that. If it says round to the nearest hundredth, then you need 2 decimal places. So these are your 2 decimal places. And then what you have to do is look at that number behind the 1. And since it's a 6, if it's 5 or above, you give it a shove. So what's going to happen is we have to move up 1 digit. So that 1 is going to become a 2. So the answer is 66.72. Okay. I'm going to skip 3 because it's like number 1. Let's move over here. Number 4, number 5, all of these, if you look at the phrasing, they're exactly the same, the beauty of Hawks. You have your percent, you have your percent, you have your percent. Okay, then next you have the word of, then you have the word of, and then you have the word of, and then next you have a number is, a number is, a number is. So those are all going to be solved exactly the same way. Okay, so let's go to number 7. 7 is a little bit different. Okay. Oh, I got to keep an eye on my time. Wow. Okay, this one is a little bit different. We know that our percent goes over 100, so I can go ahead and put that up there. I don't even have to think about that. But what I do have to think about is my A, which is the smaller amount typically, and my B, which is my base. Isn't that what yeah, A over B. Okay, so here's where things get interesting. It says 3% of what number is 6? Okay, so is part of some number. It's 3% of some number. 6 is your part. We don't know the whole. We don't know the base. We don't know the bigger number, but we know that 6 is 3% of some number. So our base is X. Okay, let's go through that one more time. 3%, okay, 3% goes over 100. We don't even have to think about that. Of what number is 6? So in other words, 6 is part of the amount that we're looking for. Now remember, A goes on top, so it's part of the amount. And so for this particular problem, 6 is on top, and we're looking for X in the denominator. We're still going to cross multiply. You set it up the exact same way. So 3 times X is 3X. 6 times 100 is 600. And we divide both sides by 3, and we get X is 200. So 6 is a very small amount out of our whole base, which is 200. Our base would be 200, and 6 would be a part. I'm going to stop my video because I don't think I'll have enough time for another problem. Stay tuned for part 2.